Hello and welcome. While we are creating our RDS instance, we have to go through many options. We have to understand each and every options because when you are going to give AWS Solution Architect exam, they can ask you question from anywhere. So here I'm going to talk about settings tab in this video. First of all, I want you to find out from where we are getting this option, and then we will understand all the options related to settings. So here I am inside my AWS RDS console, going to the database and going to click on create database. Here I am going to select MySQL database. We will have separate videos for Aurora, so don't worry about Aurora settings. We will discuss about it. Right now I am going to select MySQL. If you scroll down here, we are getting settings tab, and these are options. We are going to discuss about each and every options from settings tab. So let's start. Hello and welcome. I hope you are enjoying our AWS series. We have big plan to add Azure series, even videos for each and every DevOps technologies. But for this, we want some support from you guys. You can support us by only doing two things. First, subscribe to this channel. And yes, only subscribe to this channel if you are thinking that these videos is actually giving you some values. It will help you to pass any AWS exam like AWS Cloud Practitioner, Solution Architect Associate, or even Solution Architect Professional. Second thing is, share these videos with other IT professionals. Learning process is actually not expensive. If you are getting better or proper instructor or a mentor, it will really help you to develop your skill. If you are thinking that we are providing you a proper right path to improve your skill, your friends also deserve this, right? And for this, you have to share this channel videos with them. So I am just requesting you to do these two tasks for me. One, subscribe to our channel and share with other IT professionals. Thank you. Now you can continue your video. First of all, here in the settings tab, you have to provide DB cluster identifier. Simple. It is a database name that you have to provide. Now, the first thing is which deployment options you are going to select. Let's say that if I am going to select multi-AZDB cluster. In multi-AZDB cluster, it is going to create one primary DB instance and two readable instance. Now here, actually it is creating three instances, so we call it cluster. So here, if you are selecting this option multi-AZDB cluster, here it will give you option DB cluster identifier. Instead of this, if you are going to select multi-AZDB instance or single DB instance, it is going to create single DB instance. So identifier will be known as DB instance identifier. Here it is identifying cluster. For these two, it is just identifying single instance. So it is DB instance identifier. It is just a name that you can use for your database. If you have multiple database, multiple RDS instance, giving proper name will provide you better identification. Once you give any name, let's say that here I have one database. If I'm going to this database, the name will be displayed over here. This is my DB. If you have 10 database, if you are giving relative proper name to there, it will be easy to identify. That's all. Now, if you want to access database, definitely we are using endpoint to access this, but this is for identification. Okay. Now, here in the mind map, I already provided you all this detail for your reading. I'm not going to read this because whatever the options we have, I already explained you. Okay. So this is for your class notes. Now, the second option we have is master username. If you go to this, create new database, I am selecting MySQL. Here in the credential settings, we have master username. Once you have your database instance ready, your database engine ready, you have to create database. inside your database engine. Then you have to create table. Then you have to add records into the table. Now each user is going to perform all these administrative functions. For this, you must have one master user. You can define master username from here, and there will be a password. Now there are two ways to manage password for your database. Setting up this is the most important part, because your database security is also very high if you are using these options properly. So here we are going to discuss about master username first, then we will talk about passwords. The master username is the initial user created when you set up the RDS instance or cluster. Definitely you can create more user if you want to create, but the first master user is actually created from here, and from here you can provide username for this user. The user has an administrative privilege, and it is used to configure and manage the database. Now when you are going to provide username, there are some restrictions that you need to understand first, and also follow some best practices. So length 1 to 16 character is in length of the username. Allowed character, you can use capital, small letters. You can also use numbers. For a special character, you can use underscore, but other special characters are not allowed. When you are going to give database name, database username, okay, you cannot use some certain words over here. There is some system specific restrictions as well. Now, when you are going to create your own database, please avoid this username. Do not use admin, root, administrator, Postgres, RSA admin or Azure super user, because these are, very normal and most of people are using this. So, hackers can identify this kind of username. So, by default, they are actually providing us admin. For different database, there is a difference as well. Let's say that if I'm going to select PostgreSQL, the default username will be Postgres. Now, don't use this default username. I am using username like DB user or MyDB user kind of name. Do not use this common usernames. Okay. Now, username is okay, but after this, you have to provide password. If you go to the password section here, you have two options. Credential management. One, it is called self-managed, and another option we have, it is known as manage in secret manager. We are going to discuss about this too, but let's start with the self-managed. Credential management refers to the handle the database master username and password which are used to access. You have two options for managing this credential: manual management, or we call it self-managed, or automated management using AWS Secret Manager. Now we are going to discuss about self-managed. Let me change over here so it is like the same thing. Now we are going to start with the self-managed. So what happens if I am going to select this particular option? Let me tell you, this is not secure and you should not use this. You may have this question, why? I will tell you. Whenever you are going to select the self-managed, here you can provide password and you can access your database using this username and password that you are providing here. We already, completed lab for this. So, if you are going to select self-managed option, you manually created and manage the master username and password for DB instance database when setting it up. You will need to remember and securely store this information yourself. It means you are managing your password. Manual rotation. If the password need to be updated, you will have to manually change it through the RDS console or using AWS CLI. Now, advantages. Pros. You have full control over the credential and simple setup if you are comfortable for managing password. It is really very simple. You just need to define your username. Here you can define your password and then you can use it with various applications. If I am going to talk about cons, you must securely store and rotate credential yourself. Any changes to the password have to be manually updated in all the application or service that rely on the database connection. They rely on the database connection, and higher risk if you forget to rotate the password update credentials. Now, what is this higher risk? I want you to understand this practically. See here, I explain you theoretically, but you may get 20% idea about it if I am going with the theory. So practical is the most important part. So what we are doing, I am going to explain you cons of self-managed password, right? understand this practically, because they are asking question related to this. As you know that solution architect exam is mostly scenario based question we have. If you will not understand this practically, you may slip over the time when you will go for the exam. So let's understand cons of self-managed password with practical. So here I have one application. Sorry, I know that you want to watch full video, but full video is now not available on YouTube. If you want to watch full video, I want you to go to our website. When you will go to our website, you will find out our course 100 Days YouTube Challenge. I want you to enroll for this course by paying only 499 rupees for lifetime if you are from India. If you are from outside of India, you just need to pay $7 US. Once you will enroll to this course, you are going to get all full videos over there on our portal. You are also going to get certificate after completing the course, and we have just uploaded 120 videos. We are going to upload another 120 videos as well. So there will be total 240 videos. I hope we are going to meet inside the class. Thank you very much.